And great to have your company, along with their company, for all of the action on what is a rather weather-hit day in Osijek. But we're about to get started, so you haven't missed anything if you had an interruption to your pictures at the start of the broadcast. I can only apologise. It's a very stormy day in Osijek, and so there is the possibility of losing a little of the coverage here and there. But we're about to get started with the men's vault final. And this is the first piece of action of the day. This is Hasan Salimov of Kazakhstan, the 6th best in qualification. His score 13.95 in the preliminary round. The 19-year-old. He's got a powerful roche to begin, just got the degree of rotation wrong. Setting it down. That the more difficult of his 2 vaults. This is the first time that he's ever competed in a World Cup final, so one has to imagine that he will have felt a little flutter of anxiety. He gets real amplitude, he goes for it, but he's very much off axis on the landing, as I'm sure you can see. Nearly, very nearly. 13.233 the score, and that's indicative of the fact that it was actually, apart from sitting down the vault, technically better than in qualification. The flight phase was really nice, so he only drops by about 0.7 from the preliminary round. Second vault now. That's better. Hasan Salimov of Kazakhstan. He competed at the Gymnasiade in Rouen last year. He was part of the team that was 4th, and he also finished 4th in the vaulting competition. Nice central line, well executed, not as complex as his first vault. .266, that is an improvement upon qualification. The second vault, actually same difficulty as his first vault, and 13.749 the average score. So he did actually upgrade a little from qualification. Now to Artur Davtyan of Armenia, the world champion, but only the 2nd best performer in qualification. Something of a slight surprise. Oh, well, that is a lot better than the preliminary round. Beautiful Dragulescu from Artur Davtyan. That is technically a very nice vault. Now, he had a 0.1 penalty for this, unusually in qualification. He looks like he's fine with the left foot inside of the tram lines this time. Goodness, does he land that well. That is a treat of a vault. .866. He did actually pick up a 0.1 penalty. It's hard to see from where we were looking at it from. So does have the 0.1 loss of his total score, but he's well up from qualification by almost half a mark. As I mentioned earlier, second best in qualification, 14.675. But I think he's really played himself into contention to win it with that first vault. Oh, well, I never. I mean, that is just such beautiful vaulting. It's two landings, bordering on flawless. That is so difficult. 2.5 twists. I mean, it really is poetry in motion when he's vaulting like this. There are gymnasts out there who administer greater difficulty when they vault, but there are few that are as beautiful. He's one of those rare people who has turned vaulting into something of great elegance. 15.033 the average after 15.2 for the Yo, the second vault. And as a result, he's improved by around 3.5 tenths from qualification. This is Božidar Zlatanov of Bulgaria, the young man who made his World Cup debut in his home city of Varna a couple of weeks ago, where he made the vault final. He's only 18. He won a silver medal on vault at the European Youth Olympic Festival in Slovakia last year. 7th best in qualification. Yes, that's a good start. Little hop forward on his Kasamatsu 1.5. So he's coming in with a 5.2 degree of difficulty for the first vault. Promising young vaulter, Božidar Zlatanov. 14.1 up by 500ths from the preliminary round. Again, a little hop as he lands, but he's quite secure in his technique. The 18-year-old executing a perfectly secure-looking double twisting Yurchenko. One wonders if, as he goes through international competition over the next couple of years, he might just put in the extra half twist to turn that into a shoe felt and get the extra 4 tenths. But for now, it's all looking encouraging. Well done to him. When one compares things to Artur Davtyan, it's always a little cruel on the next gymnast, but those are reasonably tidy looking vaults. Little things here and there with the form to brush up on. 13.766 for a 13.933. He goes into the silver medal position. Just to let you know that the execution score for Davtyan's second vault was a whopping 9.6. Edi Penev of Bulgaria, the champion on floor yesterday, and the 8th best in qualification for this final. This was a beautiful vault in qualifying. Well, and it's pretty good today as well. Now that is what I was talking about, Božidar Zlatanov, perhaps looking towards long term. He does do the Schuhfeld and puts that extra half twist of the body in. Hence he lands facing away from the table compared to his teammate who lands facing it. It all brings back memories probably for many of you and for him. With that knee heavily taped, with him vaulting. It was in practice ahead of the American Olympic trials when he was doing a vault upgrade that Eddie Penev injured himself. 14.5, very nicely done, just 500ths down from the preliminary round. And that is overall a good showing from him in this vault final. Bulgaria's Eddie Penev. 2 gold medals already in World Challenge Cup competition this season. The 32-year-old from Sofia. It is a 13.7 for the second vault, so a good improvement from qualification for Eddie Penev. 14.1, he goes into second place. What he did do is gain 4/10 of difficulty compared to the preliminary round. So we go now into the second half of this vault competition, and the top performer in qualification, Caio Sousa, is going to be the second to go. His qualification score 14.725. He's got the same total difficulty of vaulting as Artur Davtyan, but I'm afraid that the Armenian has made it very difficult for anyone to take that title away from him, courtesy of his delightful execution. Got to be a score in excess of 15, so Caio Sousa needs to add about 3/10 to his qualification display, which is doable for a gymnast of his quality. We'll also see his international teammate Yuri Guimarães, the gymnast who won the South American title on vault last year and followed it up with a great display at the Pan American Championships this year, winning the vault title. And his teammate Caio Sousa is the gymnast who won the title the year before at the Pan American Championships.
Svi su sljedeći natjecatelji isprobali svoje skokove, pa možemo nastaviti sa natjecanjem. We can continue.
Caio Sousa of Brazil,
Već nam je spreman peti finalist. On je
top performer in qualification with a score of 14.725, but he does need to improve upon it if he is to be the top performer in this final, because of the great turnaround from Artur Davtyan compared to the preliminary stage of this World Challenge Cup in Osijek, Croatia. It's not a bad beginning at all from Caio Sousa. He does take quite a sizable deduction for the landing. If you compare that directly to the second vault of Artur Davtyan, that's the notable change compared to the Armenian. In flight, maybe just a little less tidiness. He has a slight overlapping of his legs. Just they begin a little to slightly whirl apart from each other, but it's a very powerful, well-executed piece of vaulting from Caio Sousa.
Caio finished 8th in the 2020 Olympic vault final in Tokyo. He was also finalist in 7 vault.
He won the South American Games vault title last year, having made the Olympic final the year before.
6 silver and 6 bronze medals at Pan American Championships. He's an all-round gymnast, so he won those many medals both in all-round and on...
So leading the way Artur Davtyan, the score 14.633 for Caio Sousa. That's compared to that 15.2 from Davtyan. The second vault from the Brazilian. Now that is a very nice Dragulescu. So he does the same vaults but in reverse order, and that was a treat of a vault from Caio Sousa. We've had a couple of lovely Dragulescus in this final. No wonder he's so thrilled about that. Absolutely has to be in contention now. Caio Sousa will likely drop into second place. He's not enormously piked as he lands. It's very hard to land a Dragulescu not in a pike position with the chest down. He has a little movement on landing. It's probably going to be slightly down from Artur Davtyan, but not by an enormous amount. That was closer to Davtyan's Dragulescu than the yo was. 14.733 for Caio Sousa for a 14.683. So yes, he was down by just over a tenth compared to Artur Davtyan, and he goes into the silver medal position. Now to Emil Akhmedjanov of Kazakhstan. The vault bronze medalist at the World Schools Championships last year. He just about got there. It's a slightly wayward feel to that display from Emil Akhmedjanov. It wasn't the tidiest execution score in qualification, 8.75. He's a little offline. I think he just about manages to stay in bounds. This is his Kasamatsu 1.5, which we saw from his teammate, if my memory serves me correctly, at the start of the competition. We also saw it from Ojidar Zlatanov. 14.166, so it is better than qualification by a couple of tenths. Second vault for Emil Akhmedjanov of Kazakhstan, the 18-year-old. Oh, very nice roche, that was lovely. So two 5.2 difficulty vaults. He's becoming quite a regular presence in World Challenge Cup vault competitions. He's got quite a wide tuck position, slightly straddles the legs. Probably more than slightly, but in terms of the power, in terms of the line, in terms of the landing, very good. Minimal adjustment. Probably better than qualification in terms of its overall stability. 14.4, so 2/10 better than the qualifying round. 14.283, he's up by 2/10 overall, and that crucially sends him into the bronze medal position with 2 to go. Now to Yuri Guimarães of Brazil. His teammate Caio Souza is in the silver medal position with Arthur Davtian above and Emil Akhmedjanov below. He's landed it very well, albeit with the foot over the line, but it was a nicely executed vault. Here's Kasamatsu 1.5. Guimarães was the third best, I should say, overall in qualification with 14.175. And that would put him into 4th position in this particular final. Yes, he's definitely out of bounds as he lands. His teammate enjoying it. Great to have a veteran like that in your corner. 14.466. A better first vault score than qualification by almost 3/10. The 19-year-old's second vault. Oh my goodness, he was very close in his landing to the table in that roche. Just seemed to get more of a vertical trajectory than a diagonal one. Let's have a look back at it. Yes, he really is quite close to the table as he lands this. The push off the table was really quite towards the run-up side, as you can see there. And there was a nervy moment where it looked as though he wasn't entirely going to clear the vaulting table. It's a jarring landing as well. Now that to one side, it's not a bad vault. It just needs... Yes, exactly. Caio Souza's reaction, I think, is indicative of how a lot of people felt watching it. It just needs a little tweaking, but the potential of it is very good. 14.233, the average. And that was with a 14 for the second vault. So he does go into 3rd place. Now, correction to that, I think he's in 4th position. I'll just confirm that in a moment. Now to the last gymnast in the competition, Ilya Kovtun of Ukraine. A little low as he landed the Kasamatsu 1.5. But he's okay. Yes, just to confirm that Yuri Guimarães is in 4th place. 14.433 for the first vault from Ilya Hogben. That is better than qualification. And he's certainly a medal contender based on that. And that time he's well off on his roche, so we won't see any change to the podium. Produced a super display on the parallel bars yesterday, Ilya Hogben. Just a couple of months away from his 20th birthday.
Domaći dečko trenira već godinu dana ovdje u Osijeku, svi ga vrlo dobro znate, odličan je bio i jučer u svojim nastupima, a i danas pozdravite ga još jednom velikim pljeskom.
Doesn't quite get it round fully, the second rotation. For 13.716. Ilya Hogben finding himself in 8th position. The classified results in the men's vault competition. The bronze to Emil Akhmedjanov of Kazakhstan. His second medal in an FIG World Challenge Cup event. Silver to Caio Souza of Brazil, and the title won by a much improved Artur Davtyan, the reigning world champion, displaying world championship form. The victory ceremony for the men's vault competition at the Osijek World Challenge Cup. Caio Souza doing a little bit of housekeeping.
Award ceremony for men's vault. Medalje će uručiti gospodin Morinari Watanabe, predsjednik Međunarodne gimnastičke federacije. The medals will be presented by Mr. Morinari Watanabe, FIG president. Treće mjesto i brončana medalja, predstavnik Kazahstana. In the third place, winning the bronze medal representing Kazakhstan, Emil Akhmedjanov.
Emil Akhmedjanov of Kazakhstan, the winner of the bronze medal. The first time he's ever won a vault medal in an FIG World Challenge Cup event. It's his second bronze medal overall.
Drugo mjesto i srebrna medalja, predstavnik Brazila. In the second place, winning the silver medal representing Brazil, Caio Souza.
The silver medal won by Caio Souza of Brazil. His second medal of this weekend in Osijek. The title won by the champion of the world and the bronze medalist from the last Olympic Games. Armenia's Artur Davtyan with quite sublime vaulting. A 15+ score and yet another World Cup vault gold medal for the 30-year-old from Yerevan. We'll now have the national anthem of Armenia.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Armenia.
The medalists in the men's vault competition in Osijek.
A sada nas čeka finale u ženskoj gredi. Tu imamo dvije naše predstavnice, još jedno veliki pljesak za njih. Aktualni olimpijski viceprvak.
So this is what we have coming up in the first half of the final. Top qualifier Artenori Mariano will complete the first half. Ilya Kovtun second best, but the same score, so much for muchness.
Ljepota Osijeka je naravno da vodimo sve, navijamo za naše i ostatak konkurencije ovdje je vrlo, vrlo dobar.
Tako je, to neće biti imao vaš zadatak, potpuno već imena od prijašnjih disciplina. Vidjeli smo njihove kvalitete, njihove mogućnosti na drugim spravama, sada ćemo se doći na kraljevskoj disciplini preći.
Kraljevska disciplina, zašto se tako kaže?
Ja smatram zato što je najatraktivnija gledateljima i ona je inače...
Well, this is one of those finals, isn't it, where you look at the qualification results, study them carefully, and then probably screw up the piece of paper you've written them on and throw it behind you over your shoulder, because it is likely not to play out exactly according to the preliminary round. There always seems to be a touch of greater variability to a men's horizontal bar final.
I zagrijavanje je završeno. Molimo počnite s natjecanjem. Warm-up is over. Please start the competition.
An excited crowd looking forward to this. I hope you are too, wherever you're watching from. Olly Hogben here, and I'll be bringing you the rest of the action from this competition in Osijek. Mitch Morgans will get us started. 13.6 in qualification. Great performer on this apparatus. Graduate of the University of Canberra, a coach and also a continental champion on the horizontal bar. 30 now, and he was the first reserve for the horizontal bar final at the last World Championships, so a gentleman of real pedigree on this apparatus. Big Casino to open his account. Oh, that's a very nice Kovac into the Coleman. He's got to keep it going, and he hasn't quite. Oh, just lost the swing. Straight Kachev, difficult skill to get the clearance. Straddle Kachev, he's got beautiful form on so much of this. Working his way towards the close of the routine, Australia's Mitch Morgans. Very good dismount as well. That was exciting. It always is when he competes. He just couldn't quite keep the kinetic energy when coming out of that Kovac to Coleman combination, and it is monstrously hard. Let's have a look back at this display from Mitch Morgans. The Casino to begin. And then this show-stopping Kovac into the Coleman. And he just comes down a little underneath the bar, sort of loses the swingfulness. But in terms of the sheer complexity of the skills, what fun. Doesn't he arch the back beautifully in the Kovac? It really is exciting. A well-administered dismount too. He's one of those athletes who gives nothing but full commitment in every single performance, whether it goes well, whether it ultimately is his undoing for just having maybe a little too much complexity. You cannot help but feel excitement when you watch him. He's very good television, is Mitch Morgans.
malo zastao, krivo uhvatio spravu, no evo, kako je, rezultati su stigli.
13.366. So a massive increase of difficulty to 6.2, so 4/10 added, but the execution way down. Ukraine's Ilya Hogben, second best in qualification with 13.95. In the background, Tin Serbic just going through his own mental preparation. He'll be performing last in front of his home crowd. Here's Hogben. Nice one-arm giant into a massive Yamawaki. Straight Kachev, well extended, straddle Kachev likewise. It's a powerful display this from Hogben. He dismounts well too. Nice performance from the teenager from Cherkasy. In a strange way, one of the showpiece moments of the whole thing was that lovely Yamawaki at the beginning. A one-arm giant, and then he goes pretty well straight into the Yamawaki. Just got so much flight on it. And at the straight Kachev, which went straight into a straddle Kachev.
Current European champion on parallel bars, 2022 European silver medalist on parallel bars, 21 and 23 European bronze medalist all round, and current European bronze medalist on high bar.
Ja nikad se nismo upoznali, ali toliko puta sam ga već prozvao tijekom ova dva natjecanja, da mi se čini da ćemo u neku ruku ostati i kupovi. Nema gdje ga nema, gotovo na svim slavama ili su.
On je jedan izvanredan gimnastičar velikog kalibra, to se rijetko viđa, ali on to sve uspije opravdati svojim napornim treniranjem i evo, napravio jednu jako kvalitetnu izvedbu bez jedne srednje do veće greške i ovo će biti jedna visoka ocjena.
Kako su u cijelom ovom nastupu, Ilija je bio odličan, u cijelom ovom nastupu bio je zaista fantastičan, kao što ste čuli, bez neke veće greške i stigli su rezultati.
13.5 for Ilya Hogben. Down by about half a mark from qualification. He's lost a little difficulty, 3/10 of it, and the execution also a fraction down. To Robert Svorogal of Lithuania. The man who became big-time Bobby at the European Games of 2019 and then the European Championships the following year when he won the horizontal bar title. He's always exciting on this piece. One-arm giant. Sets up for a big straight Kachev. Powerful pirouette work. Straddle Kachev. And this is nice connection. And a good dismount. That should score quite well. Robert Tvorogal of Lithuania. Silver medalist at the European Championships of 2022. Pat on the back from Tomas Kuzmickas, his teammate. That straddle Kachev into the pike Kachev was a nice connection.
Moram osim toga reći da je Robert Tvorogal prvak Europe na preći iz 20. i srebrni 22. Brončani na ručama 2020. a zlatni na europskim igrama na preći 2019.
The straight Kachev is always an enjoyable skill to watch because it rather plays with you. It's a sort of trick of the mind as to whether the gymnast is going to scrape the feet over the bar and actually get clearance. Of course they always do, but it's quite a spectacular looking skill because of the full extension of the body. It attracts a good field, doesn't it, this World Challenge Cup? You look at the range of athletes we have here. 13.9 for Robert Tvorogal. He goes into the lead. He adds 0.7 to his qualification score. 4/10 of extra difficulty, 3/10 of execution, all across the board. That's a very good display from Bobby Tvorogal. Now to Artur Mariano of Brazil. The world champion from 2019, the bronze medalist last year. Yamawaki. Oh, yes. That extra twist he adds sets him apart. And then the straight Kachev into the straddle Kachev. Very tidy from Artur Mariano of Brazil. Great final this. Great final.
Vi ste isto prepoznali da je vrlo dobar gimnastičar, naime on je osvajač olimpijske bronze na Dulu iz 2016. ali je svjetski prvak.
And he does all of this wonderful gymnastic work with a cartilage problem in his left knee that has no long-term cure. It's just treated by a lot of ice after every competition, after every training session. He just manages the pain and the inflammation. This is where he's a little different though, the full twist put in. Not many do it.
Pustit ćemo Tina da se koncentrira, da polako uđe u tu mentalnu proceduru koju ga je učinila tako dobrim gimnastičara, tako uspješni na neki način kako shvatim. Dotaknemo se i nastupa Artura, vrlo dobar nastup, on i sam čini se jako zadovoljan.
Evo da, možemo vidjeti jednu izvrsnu izvedbu. Meni se čini možda
14.166, a new leader after Nori Mariano. He gains a tenth of difficulty, and he gains about the same of execution. So it's now Mariano, Tvoragal and Kovtun 1, 2 and 3. 13.5 all the way up to 14.166, and we have 4 remaining. The penultimate gymnast already warming up, that's Caio Souza. We've got the third best in qualification, Alexander Mjakinin, and then we're going to see right at the end Tin Srbic, the fourth best in qualifying, but the reigning European champion and the Olympic silver medalist, and here he is warming up now. Alexander Mjakinin next to go, third best in qualification, 13.95 his score. He won the silver medal in Tel Aviv at home last week. Casina. Got a powerful swing going. And Coleman, the next of the skills. And here comes Akachev. And another. So 4 releases and regrasps. It's very accomplished horizontal bar gymnastics from Alexander Mjakinin of Israel in this entertaining final. Gymnast who made his World Cup debut in Szombathely in Hungary back in 2019. Very special moment for him last week, winning that home silver medal, because he doesn't just live in Israel, he lives in Tel Aviv and trains at the Maccabi Tel Aviv multi-sport club.
Vratimo se na ono pitanje koje se ticalo samog zagrijavanja. Koliko gledanje zagrijavanja drugih može utjecati na tvoju pripremu za sam nastup? Može li te to malo pokolebati ili je bitno biti unutra 100%?
Pa dok se gimnastičari zagrijavaju, oni ne razmišljaju o tome kako se drugi gimnastičar zagrijava, oni su samo došli osjetiti prostor, osjetiti spravu, da osjeti kako će to biti prije samog nastupa.
Aleksander Mjakinin, dakle, završio je svoj nastup, rođen 95. godine u Izraelu, osvojio broncu na europskom prvenstvu prije 3 godine u Mersinu. Pozdravite ga jednim velikim pljeskom, sliki su i njegovi rezultati. Treće mjesto, third place for Alexander.
13.7, Alexander Mjakinin is in the bronze medal position, with 3 though still to come. Ilya Hogben drops down into 4th place to Tomas Kuzmickas of Lithuania. 13.2 his score in qualification. A graduate of the Lithuanian Sports University in Kaunas. He lives there and trains at the Startas Sports School. Two catchers well performed. Nicely produced routine from Tomas Kuzmickas of Lithuania. He's been the all-around national champion of his country. His difficulty in qualification 4.8, that's the lowest of all of the qualifiers. His execution score was the best of anyone.
Čini se da dosta natjecatelj ima slične elemente u izrazu.
Natjecatelj je u najviše ovih atraktivnih elemenata leta, oko kritike, sa duplim saltima oko svoje osi. To je sve ono što oni moraju zadovoljiti prema pravilniku, ali možemo vidjeti koliko su zapravo i gibki i spremni da bi se ovo mogli izvesti.
Tomas Kuzmickas, zanimljivi hobi i čitanje, ići na putovanja i baviti se jogom. Gimnastikom se bavio od 4. godine, a sada je završio na 6. mjestu.
13.066 for Tomas Kuzmickas. So he's in 6th position, and we have 2 left. This is the gentleman who had the highest difficulty in qualifying, 6.3. His execution 7.35. That was the lowest execution score of any qualifier. Total of 13.65, the 5th best. He has been a medalist at the Pan American Championships on the horizontal bar, and he's the reigning South American Games champion. What will we see now from Caio Sousa? Big Casina. So he's done a Coleman the Casina thus far. Straight Kachev. Just about keeps that going into the Yamawaki, and that is really interesting. Another unique moment in this final from one of the Brazilians. And a fine landing. That is marvellous from Caio Sousa. Well, I never. What entertainment from the 2 Brazilians, Artenori Mariano and Caio Sousa. It's the Yamawaki into Eberhard Ginger's eponymous move that is quite unlike anything we've seen so far in this final. And then the other moves, the more conventional, I say conventional, it's high-level conventional. Kovac with the twist, making it a Coleman, and the Casino as well.
Tako je, pokazuje da je došao vrlo spreman ovdje u Osijek, nije ovako preći cijeli taj put I onda ovako...
Maybe the high point of the whole thing, though, is the reaction after he lands. And that was the more understated bit of the reaction. It was the huge scream that he did after the initial scream. Connection bonus of yelps there from Caio Sousa. On the subject of loud screaming, it's going to happen for this gentleman. But what score will he be chasing after? At the moment, Antonelli Mariano leads on 14.166. Not now. 14.3. Caio Sousa, same difficulty as in qualification. But his execution vastly improved. He goes into the lead. So it is now Brazil 1 and 2, Sousa and Mariano, then Tvoragal, but now we have the reigning champion of Europe, the Tin Man himself. It's Tin Srbic of Zagreb, Croatia. Fourth best in qualification, 13.95. Kachev master. But he's just slightly wild there. Stolder into a Kachev, another Kachev. And a straight Kachev. And there's his Coleman, what lovely work. A big reaction from the crowd after a big performance from Tin Srbic of Croatia. Is it going to be sufficient? He is experienced enough to have a sense of it. The crowd loved it, that is clear. His release and regrasp work was completely comfortable.
Tin is the 2017 World Champion on Hogben. He was also the 2020 Olympic, 2019 World, and 2019 and 2020 European silver medalist on Hogben. He has won 21 medals on the FIG World Cup Series. At the Osijek World Cup, he won gold in 2022, 21, 2018 and 2017, and bronze in 2016.
Ja sam nervozan I vidim tamo spreman I hladan. Marko, kratko, njegova vježba pojačao čini se u odnosu na neka natjecanja ranije.
Tako je, evo, mislim da je prvo želim čestitati I stvarno napravi jednu jako dobru vježbu pojačao s obzirom na europsko prvenstvo. Vidjeli smo spektakularnost njegovih letova, okreta koje jedne ruke čak I u samoj vježbi mu se malo kožnica petljala, a on je uspio pored te koncentracije to popraviti I stvarno pokazati svoju veličinu. Svaka čast.
Svaka čast, pljesak za Tina Srbića.
Nice reaction there from Caio Sousa. Tvoragal third, and then the Brazilians first and second. 13.9 the score required to get onto the podium.
Olimpijski vrh
He's done it, 14.166, a bronze medal for Tin Srbic. He gains 3/10 of difficulty. The same score as Artanori Mariano, but lower execution. And it brings to a close a thoroughly enjoyable horizontal bar final. And there's the man that's won it, Caio Sousa, with an excellent display. The classified results in the horizontal bar competition: bronze for Croatia's own Tin Srbic, silver for Artanori Mariano of Brazil, and his teammate Caio Sousa takes the title with a great score of 14.3. The victory ceremony for the men's horizontal bar competition at the Osijek World Challenge Cup.
Svečanost proglašenja pobjednika u disciplini preča. Award ceremony for high bar. Medalje će uručiti gospodin Hrvoje Šimić, saborni zastupnik i izaslanik predsjednika Hrvatskog sabora Gordana Jandrokovića. The medals will be presented by Mr. Hrvoje Šimić, Member of Parliament, representative of the Parliament Speaker Mr. Gordan Jandroković. Treće mjesto i brončana medalja, predstavnik Hrvatske in the third place winning the bronze medal, representing Croatia, Tin Srbic.
The bronze medal goes to Croatia's Tin Srbic, the reigning European champion in his home competition. What an excellent podium this is.
In the second place, winning the silver medal, representing Brazil, Artur Mariano.
He's back in business. The bronze medalist from the last World Championships and the World Champion from 2019, Artanori Mariano. Very stylish display to win silver. But the world champion from 2019 was beaten by his own teammate, Caio Sousa, with a fantastic performance, a 6.3 difficulty score. An absolute suitcase load of skills that he threw into that performance, and it was a performance because he executed them terrifically, and in doing so he wins the Osijek title. Another gymnast having a terrific competition. 3 medals for Caio Sousa, and we'll have the national anthem of Brazil.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Brazil.
the medalists in the men's horizontal bar competition at the Osijek World Challenge Cup.
Na trećem mjestu, brončana medalja za njega. Pozdravimo ga još jednom velikim pljeskom. A mi se selimo na...
Tom Schulze of Germany. 13.75 in qualification. The 22-year-old is from Cottbus, and he made the vault final at his home World Cup at the start of the year. Those of you who watch the German Bundesliga will recognise him. He competes a lot there. The only time he has won any form of international medal, it was a bronze on floor in this arena last year. Nice and plants the Maltese well. Jonathan Yamawaki into the Maltese position. Just has the odd little wobble here and there. Like there, for example, just resetting that handstand, only a fraction. That more pronounced, quite a bit more pronounced. And a rather sizable adjustment on the landing from Tom Schulze. He's yet to compete at the European or World Championship level. But this is his 7th World Cup or World Challenge Cup competition.
Evo da, on je jako dobro otvorio današnje natjecanje i karika. Možda je falilo pri kraju malo snage da to ispadne ono, da se pokaže tam jednoće izvođenja. Karike su jako zahtjevne, kako bi rekao, ručke ovdje. Znači oni se ne smiju klimati ni u jednom trenutku i to je stvarno veliki zahtjev za gimnastičara da on to uspije zadržati u nultoj točki, kako bi rekao.
Zanimljivo je i kod karika da su zapravo to jedina vježba, jedini element koji gimnastičar kada ga dotakne ne napušta ga, dakle nema odvajanja od njega.
Tako je, da, znači ovo je jedina disciplina u kojoj gimnastičar jedanput kad upati spravu drži do samog kraja, nema nikakvih namještenja, pomaka, tako da evo, jako zanimljivo.
Da, bit će zanimljivo i u nastavku finala. Tom Schulze, dakle Njemac, prvi je nastupio i naravno da je na prvom mjestu.
Tom Schulze with a score of 13.
Veliki pljesak za njega.
Execution down by about 3/4 of a mark from the preliminary round. To the first of 3 arters in this final. Who will be King Arter? Will it be this gentleman? He was the 4th best in qualification. Tovmasian, the 30-year-old from Yerevan, returns to international competition for the first time in almost 4 years. He has a full set of World Cup colours. And he was 4th at the World Championships in 2018. Maltese moving up into a planche position. A lovely move into handstand, that was steady as anything. Very pretty Jonasson too. They don't half produce some good gymnasts on the rings, Armenia. Nice straddle planche. Easy to see why he scored so well for execution in qualification. Wasn't that a nice routine from Artur Tovmasian? They have the 2nd highest execution score of all of the qualifiers. Only the 2nd highest execution score in Armenia though in this final, because it was his teammate Artur Avitisian, who had a higher one. Particularly nice looking Jonasson.
Za taj izdržaj, koliko je tu potrebno godina i godina treninga da se ovako nešto izvede?
Pa to na kraju krajeva teški tek stvarno sazri u ovim najboljim godinama, poslije 20 se razvija ta snaga, što možemo sad pokazati na ovakvom natjecanju.
With the development that Armenian gymnastics has enjoyed in the last few years, it's nice to remember one of the early trendsetters of this particularly good generation, but he's still out there, he's still producing strong work. 13.666 from Artur Tovmasian. Caio Souza from Brazil, third best in qualification, 14.3 the number. He's had some very fine work over the years on the rings. Funny to think that all those years ago he started as a karateka, just like his older brother. Didn't take to it at all. Good job for all of us getting to enjoy his gymnastics. Where would we be without him? Great physical strength to hold the Maltese. Just controlled the tremors. Another very nice Jonasson. Great level line of the shoulders in the iron cross. Yamawaki opening out into a Jonasson to again an excellent shoulder presentation. Oh, wow! What a dismount from Caio Souza! That is a stunner! Goodness me! He just kept on rotating. This gentleman's got a lot in his box of tricks. Well, let's go back and enjoy this. Got to admire the quality of the line in the shoulder work. The iron crosses really were textbook.
Rekao se sam Marko da je izdržaj da bi se uopće bodovali moraju trajati minimalno 2 sekunde, on je imao nekoliko izdržaja u različitim.
He's got a very elegant looking Jonasson, the piked swing. Again, super technique. And that is some dismount. Goes round a few times. And he loved every moment of it, so did they. (13.933), 6.2 the difficulty. He's improved upon the qualification display. Execution was lower, but he leads. Now to Artur Zaneci of Brazil, who had a 6.2 in qualification for an overall score of 14.6. This is the third time that he has been in Osijek. I mentioned that brilliant run of 8 straight World Cup victories. 2 of them were here in 2015 and 2017. Up into the planche, a little movement of the rings that he controlled. And into that low position, moving up into the Maltese. Lovely variations on a theme. Oh, beautiful. Jonasson into the iron cross. Super toe point, great geometry. Then the Yamawaki into the Maltese opens out into a very elegant and powerful iron cross. Technically so sound. And he holds a masterful dismount. This is the man that cannot be beaten in Osijek. Artur Zanec of Brazil with a wonderful display. Well, for a gentleman who collects watches, he certainly makes a fool out of time itself, because at 33, he's still producing exquisite gymnastics.
He was 2012 Olympic champion and 2016 silver medalist in rings, 2013 world champion, and 2011, 14, and 18 world silver medalist on rings.
Isn't this fun? I really hope you're enjoying the competition in Osijek, because it's been a super World Challenge Cup. There have been performances here that one would feel perfectly content to watch in a World Championship final, and indeed in an Olympic final. And indeed there have been performances here that you would be perfectly content to see take a medal on either of those great stately occasions in this wonderful sport. The Osijek crowd have been treated to a festival of gymnastics. Some of the Brazilian greats watching on as well. 14.533 for Artur Zanec. That's going to take some beating. At the halfway mark, there is your podium. Zanec, Souza and Tovmasian. And this is what is to come, including, perhaps most crucially of all, the top qualifier, Artur Avetissian, who will be the penultimate gymnast to go. And just to remind you, his score in the preliminary round was 14.8.
A nas čekaju posljednja 4 finalista, među njima je i Ilija Koptun, pozdravimo ga velikim pljeskom. A da nastavimo tradiciju, sada pozdravimo i sve finaliste velikim pljeskom.
Please zagrijavanje je završeno. Molim da nastavite s natjecanjem. Warm-up is over. Please continue the competition.
Zach Perillo of Australia.
Finalist representing Australia, Zachary Perillo.
13.6 in qualification. The 8th best and the silver medalist at the National Championships earlier this year. He's 27, he's got a great story. He's worked hard to get back to this level, probably the best level he's ever been at. That takes real strength and poise. to open up the arms on the handstand. Just slightly twitchy here and there, but it's small. Such a powerful chap. The way he opens up to display finger point when he's in the cross position. Very nice to see Zach Perillo making his mark internationally. From Malvern in the suburbs of Melbourne. 6 years away from the sport before making a triumphant return.
Odradio je Zek svoju vježbu, još jedan predstavnik Australije, Georgia Godwin, predstavnica Australije, lijepi broj medalja odnijela je u svoju zemlju ovdje iz Osijeka. Čekamo sada rezultate za Zeka, a nakon njega Ilija Fortun. Za početak Zachary Perillo
13.533, virtually the same as qualification for Perillo. Now it's Ilya Kovtun of Ukraine, 13.6 in qualification, the sixth best.
The sixth finalist representing Ukraine, Ilya Kovtun.
Powerful move there up into the straddle planche. That was gravity defying. He's such an accomplished all-around athlete. Great reaction and reception for Ukraine's Ilya Kovtun, a gymnast who has mastered his craft at these kinds of events, building up so many World Cup medals. It's got to the stage where it doesn't even really feel like a World Cup event if he's not there.
Tako je, odradio je jako odličnu vježbu, taj element se zove vaga u uporu na karikama. Raširene noge tu koriste zapravo da bi mogo držati upravo tu ravnotežu, što nije nimalo lagano.
Njegov završetak vježbe vidjeli smo i kod Artura i kod Kaja iz Brazila, taj jedan spektakularan završetak sam ove vrlo teške vježbe.
Tako je, napravio je tu prikrčni salto unazad sa dva okreta oko svoje osi. Zadovoljio je naravno sve što treba po sudačkom kodeksu. Moram spomenuti i stvarno dati jednu, kako bih rekao, pohvalu. On nije lagan gimnastičar i stvarno ovo što on uspije napraviti sa svojim tijelom i sa svojim visinom i težinom je nevjerovatno.
Pljesak veliki za našeg Iliju Kovtuna. Zovemo ga našim s dobrim razlogom. Imate priliku još jednom vidjeti i završetak njegove vježbe i taj doskok koji izgleda stajao
13.4. Ilya Hogben down by just 2/10 from qualification. 2 to go, but one of them is this gentleman, the top qualifier, Artur Avetissian. I'm going to make a confident prediction that after this routine, somebody called Artur will be leading. .8 his score in qualification. Zanec is on 14.533. Gets real height on his planche. Good level Maltese position. Really controlled, effortless looking iron cross. Not a flicker on the handstand. Knees in so tightly in the Yamawaki into a Maltese, all going well. Another very nice iron cross. Patiently establishes each position. Get a sense here of a gymnast really in control of time. Small flicker there in the handstand, that's about all. How's the dismount? It's very good. A little adjustment on landing, but that was extremely controlled and poised from Armenia's Artur Avetissian. Now what's interesting is that his difficulty score in qualification was 3/10 at 5.9, below what we've seen in this final from Artur Zanec. But he had the highest execution score quite convincingly in qualification of 8.9. Very hard to match that in a final.
Dotaknemo se još naravno same sprave koja je, rekli smo, mobilna, može se pomicati i razgovarat ćemo o tome nešto kasnije, jer upravo zbog te mobilnosti samih
might not be quite as secure execution-wise, but it was still very good.
Fizičku spremu, nevjerojatnu fizičku koncentriranost u tom.
Is it enough?
Ali naravno i vrlo jaku glavu koja cijelo vrijeme mora biti 100% u samoj vježbi. Stigli su rezultati. Artur Avetissian,
the Olympic champion from 2012, thoroughly impressed. 14.666, Artur Avetissian moves ahead of Artur Zanec. His execution was down by just over 1/10 from qualifying, but it's still enough to send him into the lead. We have one to go. The last performance of this entire World Challenge Cup comes from Liam de Smet of Belgium, a 23-year-old born in Jiangxi in the People's Republic of China. He makes his World Cup debut. He competed at the Luxembourg Open, a nice invitational event in February, and won the rings title. And he's done very well in his first World Cup to make the rings final. What a nice extended handstand. Arms almost out at horizontal. That's very hard. Oh, very stylish. Lovely Jonasson work. Symmetrical, nicely performed Yamawaki. Good level line on his iron crosses. Just a little bit of an oscillation as he hit that handstand, but he's okay. and quite a backwards movement on the landing. However, the bulk of the routine was very good from Liam Desmet. Difficulty-wise, he will probably find he's giving away a little in comparison to the top group, but there was a certain compelling accuracy to that performance. What a nice way to finish this World Challenge Cup in Croatia. Particularly good pike swings. Here's Jonassen's. He's got really nice toe point there. His heels are together. But unfortunately on the dismount he gives a little away, and he did also lose a couple of the handstands, just slightly. 13.2, it's down by 4/10 from qualification. 7th place for him, matching his qualification display. And so the champion confirmed. Flanked by Brazilians, it is Arthur Avetisian who is the King Arthur of Osijek. Arthur Zanetti in 2nd place and Caio Souza 3rd. The classified results in the rings competition: bronze and silver to Brazil, Caio Souza and Arthur Zanetti. But the Olympic champion from 2012 beaten by Arthur Avetisian of Armenia in a close final. The victory ceremony for the men's still rings competition at the Osijek World Challenge Cup.
Award ceremony for rings. Medalje će uručiti gospodin Vladimir Mađarević, direktor natjecanja na svjetskom kupu Dobro Osijek. The medals will be presented by Mr. Vladimir Mađarević, competition director at the Dobro Osijek World Cup.
The competition director presenting the medals. Time to relax after a job well done. A very good competition. Caio Souza of Brazil, the bronze medalist. He's had a super weekend in Osijek.
Drugo mjesto i srebrnu medalju osvojio je također predstavnik Brazila. In the 2nd place, winning the silver medal, also representing Brazil, Arthur Zanetti.
Brazil's Arthur Zanetti takes the silver medal. His 3rd time competing in Osijek, 3rd time he's won a medal. It adds to the titles that he took in 2015 and 2017. His longevity is extraordinary.
Prvo mjesto i zlatnu medalju osvojio je predstavnik Armenije. In the 1st place, winning the gold medal representing Armenia, Arthur Avetisian.
It is a different Arthur though on this occasion who wins the title in Osijek, Arthur Avetisian. His 2nd gold medal in the space of a fortnight in World Challenge Cup competition. Really one to watch as we head towards the World Championships. And we'll now have the national anthem of Armenia.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Armenia.
And there they are, the medalists in the still rings competition of the World Challenge Cup in Osijek. What an excellent competition it's been for so many nations. But for gymnastics as a whole, this has been terrific entertainment. It has been a great pleasure having your company for all of the action from Osijek. I've been Olly Hogben. Thank you for joining, and I'll say farewell until next we meet.